And now it's time for Fabulous Film and Friends. All aboard episode 116 of the Triple F. Chugging along the tracks laid by legendary filmmaker Terrence Malick, we're discussing two noteworthy films that closely follow his style in recounting tales of the American experience, starting with 2007's The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, directed by Andrew Dominik and starring Brad Pitt, Casey Affleck, Sam Shepard, Sam Rockwell, Jeremy Renner, Paul Schneider, Garret Dillahunt, Mary-Louise Parker, Alison Elliott, Zooey Deschanel, Ted Levine, Michael Parks, James Carville, with Hugh Ross as the narrator. Up against Clint Bentley's Train Dreams, recently watched and retroactively crowned king of the 2025 film Mountain, starring Joel Edgerton, Felicity Jones, William H. Macy, John Deal, Kerry Condon, Paul Schneider again, Clifton Collins Jr., and Will Patton as the narrator. In a film that echoes Dominik's approach through its third-person narration, recurring Paul Schneider presence, and a Nick Cave-inflected musical sensibility. Covering me with their scatterguns this week are my usual duo of bushwhackers, my kid sis and snooty bookworm Roseanne Caputi, and slit-eyed outlaw with enough oat and barley in his voice to give Will Patton and Hugh Ross a run for their money, the one and only Gordon Alex Robertson. Alex, say something gravelly voiced and fancy pants style, introspective about the disappearing American frontier.
I knew the American West was over when all the hydrangeas died out.
All right, that's good.
That's all you get.
Good stuff. Before we start shoveling coal, the synopses. The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Outlaw Jesse James, increasingly paranoid and unpredictable, surrounds himself with a dwindling gang that no longer knows whether he's losing his grip, giving up, or testing their loyalty. Among them is Robert Ford, a devoted admirer whose presence only adds to the tension as trust breaks down within his group. In Train Dreams, Robert Grenier, a railroad laborer in the early 20th century, struggles to build a life as isolation and personal loss reshape his world. All right, Alex Robertson.
Yes.
What film do you prefer? Or what film was the more evocative? What was the better film in your mind?
Okay, in terms of evocativeness, I got to give it to The Assassination of Jesse James. It's been a number of years since I've seen the movie, and to be wowed on a second showing and realize that, oh my God, once you kind of get over the initial, like, oh, it was pretty cool, but then you dig deeper, and this is that kind of movie that it's more than just that. I mean, it's a cinematic masterpiece. And,
I should have started the question with, here's my assessment. Let's see if this is fair. The Assassination of Jesse James is like a trip to the World's Fair, where Train Dreams is a trip to a Gold Town boutique, reasonably priced, friendly staff, very pleasant, but nowhere near the World's Fair. Is that fair?
Maybe. I have to admit, I do find the emotional impact of Train Dreams quite palpable. Yeah. The two times that I've seen it, it's like, wow, I get kind of gooey-eyed watching this. It does. Well, I think part of it is Joel Edgerton's performance, and I was thinking about why can't we as Americans adopt him so we can claim him as a national treasure?
Fair enough.
Because, if I'm like in a studio, we got to get somebody that can really just grab Americana. Let's get that foreign guy, Joel Edgerton.
Well, I should say, actually, let's get Roseanne in before I start expounding and taking off like I do. Roseanne, how do you feel about these two films? And is it a worthy comparison? Should I even? I mean, for our listeners out there, I saw Train Dreams and loved it, absolutely loved it. So then I thought, but when I first started watching, my wife was watching it. And I'm like, watch that, arms folded as always, because that's how I start. And I was like, oh, this is a ripoff of Terrence Malick. Oh, this is such a ripoff of Andrew Dominik and Assassination of Jesse James. But by about 30 minutes in, completely won me over, and I was like, oh, this is a great movie. Best movie of, as I say, retroactively best movie of 2025 now, in my opinion. Just really great. Really good stuff. But then I say, oh, let's compare it to the Assassination of Jesse James. And then I saw that for the first time. I probably saw it 4 or 5 times. I bought the DVD between 2007 and 2013. But I think I just left it alone for a good 13 years. I just made too much of an investment. Like Apocalypse Now or The Godfather, any of the great movies. I just left it alone. And then I watch it for this podcast. I'm like, wow, who am I kidding? These two don't even you can't compare these two. I mean, one's clearly influenced by the other, but I'd say Train Dreams is a sapling compared to the oak that is Assassination of Jesse James. Fair enough, Roseanne? What do you think?
Well, first of all, thank you for letting me talk before you did.
Must be the goatee.
I had to give you the proper context. Don't you understand?
I don't think it is the proper context. I think the question is actually more interesting of just, and me too, even though I know I love this movie, how did you or me forget what a masterpiece Assassination of Jesse James is? So that we were watching Train Dreams, it seemed like an apt comparison, and then only after watching the two of them, it no longer seems like one. And
well, here's the question: can you ape a style and do a great job? And you don't have to be great, right? Or you don't have to be transcendent or amazing. You still have to just put on a good show. And obviously, this Mr. Clint Bentley, whoever he may be, did a really, really great job. I mean, it was a really good movie, better than most movies I've seen in a long time. It's just not. I mean, let's face it. 2007 was the year. Every movie nominated for Best Picture was great. I mean, they were all great movies, and Assassination was one of them.
But the thing is, except for sort of more superficial threads, unless we can get closer to what it means to be American, what we want to see when we see stories about America, which I think is valid in terms of talking about these movies, and trying to get at the truth of things that are beautiful and horrifying at the same time. But in terms of like, when you say evocative or anything like, I mean, just look at Jesse James. It's such even just in the first few minutes, such a sharper, more fully realized film.
Well, it's shot by Roger Deakins.
For sure. But I just think so it is by comparison, the platonic form.
Right.
The platonic form of a sweater. And unfortunately, and I like Train Dreams a lot. Train Dreams is more like the J.C. Penney version.
But for sure. Or maybe a more apt. Another comparison would be Pope of Greenwich Village to Mean Streets. And again,
Sure.
Pope of Greenwich Village is one of my favorite movies, but obviously it's not the same depth as Mean Streets.
Right.
So it's but that's an interesting thing because I still loved the movie. So I'm kind of. I think it's worth discussing because. If we weren't comparing,
the movie.
If we were,
I like the movie.
Okay, but I love the movie. I've watched it 3 times now, and I love it. Okay. I can see your point, and I felt like, wow, yeah, no, this is not an apt comparison. But at the same time, it's almost not fair because on its own, it's better than anything else that came out in the last year, for sure. This at least 3 times through, and the whole time I'm watching it, I feel like crying. The entire time I'm watching it, even Terrence Malick. Terrence Malick's a better filmmaker than this guy Clint Bentley, but he doesn't. Is it because I love my Forrest Gump, Benjamin Button movies, and I just want it spoon-fed? It's obviously more spoon-fed, but he's not making a Forrest Gump movie. It's not. It's a little less esoteric and metaphysical. It's a fairly compact and easy to relate to story, but it's still great,
No, again, there's nothing wrong with accessible movies by any means, and it's not even so accessible. I'm just saying the comparison is tricky unless we go into bigger themes.
Yeah,
that's all.
We got themes of the disappearing American frontier.
And again, in terms of themes, we can talk about it. In terms of filmmaking,
And Train Dreams is damn good. I mean, that's the thing.
No one's arguing with you,
I know,
though.
but no, I just want the listening audience.
You're on point about a lot of things.
I want the listening audience to know. I'm not dismissing this film. It's damn good.
And I
agree.
think what Cliff Bentley achieves in this movie, because so you mentioned something like Forrest Gump. There is your prime example of something that does spoon feed its audience and really manipulates an audience's feelings.
But spoon feeding it nails and mouse poop, because what the hell?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. As Jesse James would say, or as Brett, in the movie, it's like, boy, he couldn't even drive nails into snow. Yeah. And that's what Forrest Gump does, drives nails into snow, where Cliff Bentley is giving us something a little bit more poetic. So yes, he learned from the right people. And maybe it's more of an on-point kind of Terrence Malick movie. But I appreciate that he did give us something that is worthwhile. That, yes, I get emotional too, but I feel like it's more earned.
No, it's definitely earned.
I mean, I really do appreciate it. I guess as I'm, in the twilight of, I'm 39. Right?
Oh,
approaching middle age.
It's an old man's movie, for sure.
It is an old man's movie, but it's nice to have that.
It's a good one.
No,
it's
it is
not
a beauty.
Benjamin freaking Button.
No, it's not. Because thank God you have the likes of William H. Macy and John Deel, so refreshing to see.
Hey, John Deel, if you're out there listening for whatever reason, my hat's off to you. Been a fan of you since Miami Vice. And you brought it home, baby. That was great work.
What are we talking about when we're talking about these two films, then? What are we talking about?
Okay, this is what I found.
We're not saying one is better than the other, which is
no. But in terms, are you talking about like a thread, like a thread that ties them together?
Yeah, give us your thread.
Because one thing I know. Okay,
let's start before Roseanne gives us a what for.
Okay, this is my. Little
Tell us,
thimble full of. Okay, so in the beginning, it was a vast space of nothingness. No, anyway, I really get the sense of people that are trying to find themselves or trying to find their sense of identity, whether they have it or not. Robert Grenier in Train Dreams, his whole life is trying. He's looking for whatever that answer is. And it's not until he finds out that it was always right there. In the Assassination of Jesse James, you've got people like, Jesse James, who has a really good sense of himself. I mean, he knows, I'm making sense in terms of he has a sense of identity. I mean, he's comfortable in his skin, even if he is getting paranoid.
Well, we can get into it, but obviously he enjoys the myth. He enjoys
the myth.
He enjoys
but
all
he's learned to live with it, where you've got the tyro, Robert Ford, who's on the upside of the myth, who wants to become part of the myth, not understanding. Right. Because Jesse James has reached that summit and he knows the pitfalls.
Does he, though?
In a way. I think he does.
Because I think this is a great thing I noticed this time around. Brad Pitt likes the adulation, but he's also likes shooting Robert Ford down to keep him down a notch. Because I don't think I think he likes. I think Brad Pitt's.
Well, maybe that's his Achilles heel, but he has, he's got that. I don't know, that earned sense of cynicism that Robert Ford doesn't have yet. And I don't know if he's just trying to teach him that or if he's just a mean guy to begin with. Jesse James, because we do see, when he torments that poor kid.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's why I'm thinking he's not above it. He's not cynical. He's a son of a bitch.
Yeah, and he is remorseful though. But he is remorseful, so I don't know.
All right, tell us, Teach. What are we getting wrong?
No,
tell us what we're getting wrong, Teach.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think they're both fully participating at. I think it's this weird story of parallel surly youngest children in a sense, that mirror each other, and one is just less likable. And I think it does sort of also in terms of who are we as Americans in terms of what we'll tolerate between law and lawlessness. Where does that line exist? And it exists somewhere in between those two men.
The fact that what's interesting to me is his action is accepted at first, and then as the years go on, it's like, you know what? You're a jerk.
I feel like, especially, that's classically American,
and
because
it feels a lot like what's a parallel. I hate to bring it in, but it feels like a parallel that's happening now.
Well, yes, no. Robert Ford is like
George
the poster
W.
child.
Bush.
right.
Oh, even beyond.
This is America, where people talk about myths and things like this, but it's just like, where do we, as Americans, always just like, who do we identify with the most right now? And that also affects our relationship with law and lawlessness.
Right.
So why we love this idea of Jesse James, and then even though we know inherently that what Robert Ford did was right, that it's this act that we don't like to see ourselves in. And so even though, of course, Jesse James is terrible, we want to identify with that more. And why?
Yeah.
Like, he's not even in control of his own violence through the whole thing. And also, too, this idea of how he is. So while Robert Ford is searching for, like, you know, some sort of like shape to his life, Jesse James is almost courting his own death. And they meet at this like very interesting point in both of their lives where they almost want the same thing from each other.
Yeah, Jesse James gives him a gun. I mean, like,
gives him a
it
gun,
never even
which is
occurred
an
to me,
odd-
like,
yeah.
oh wait, I guess he wants to die. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, you
somehow
wonder
missed
about
that.
yeah.
And
You wonder
again, back
about that.
to Kurtz and things like this, you know,
Yeah.
he's waiting. He's waiting for him to do it. He's waiting for him to almost fulfill his destiny so he can be sacrificed in this way. And again, where do we participate with both of these people, and as observers of this whole story, and as people who then count this as part of our history?
Indeed. And so where does poor Robert Granger fit into this?
And that's the question. Okay. And that's where I do feel like Robert Granger's story is, again, I think.
Well, it's, again, we're talking about a collection of highs and lows, and collection of the. I mean, and he's much more. The director's much more specific about the things that are tearing America apart. So we have racism, and not an unearned racism, not a corny racism, a realistic racism that did happen. Let's not every Chinese man was thrown off a bridge, but there's an act of brutality that probably is close enough to things that had happened to workers on the rail line.
Sure.
So
Well,
we're like watching this, and we can't say, oh, well, that's a bunch of DEI bull crap. It's like, no.
Well, why would we? But it's also
I'm sure
where Robert.
I'm sure there's plenty of t-shirt wearing jerks who would say that, like, "Well, that wouldn't happen. They'd be arrested by the Pinkertons." But you know, whatever. I'm just saying that this film
In all of the Pinkertons' wild efficiency. But anyway, right. I do think.
Hold on. I'm on a roll here. I'm cooking with gas now. I was just gonna say,
Go, baby, go.
I was just going to say that the film, the things that happen in the film are well earned, but they are spelled out. The meanings are spelled out. That's all.
They are. And again, it's perfectly fine to make a film about logging and industry, but and talk about the environmental impacts of it. And I felt that most of it was well done. I felt that some of it got a little too close to the, being on the nose. But they usually pulled back with the world's a really old place, but even Kerry Condon this time, I was like, okay, all the myths about the floods and everything and all, it was definitely more a mouthpiece for what was trying to be said. Whereas there is a certain level of danger and like electricity in each scene of the assassination of Jesse James that just makes it just is such a much more unique experience.
Yeah, it's interesting that just reading the reviews, how many reviewers thought Jesse James spelled itself out with its third person narration. A lot of reviewers clued into that, saying, "He spelled out too much," which I thought.
I agree. I don't love the narration, but I still don't think it did it in such a way where it ruined the individual scenes by any means, or
Yeah.
what the actors were
Well, I
accomplishing.
think the same. Even Kerry Condon, is it Condon?
Condon.
I don't know. I messed her name up. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Conley,
Something-
Conaway.
Condon, yes.
I think it's Kerry
Condon?
Condon. What did I
Okay.
say? What did I say in my
I said
intro?
Conlon.
Yeah. Why can't I hold on to
Sorry.
this name? What is it? It's Kerry Condon. Yes, that's what it is. You said it
Kerry
right.
Condon.
Yeah. So I don't hate her lines because she does seem like an accurate depiction of a Forest Service nerd. And she
does.
might give that monologue. Nothing in that movie ever felt like, oh, they wouldn't say that.
Sure.
So
That's true.
that's all. She just seems like, okay, she's one of these oddballs, widow, living this sort of independent life in the 50s.
Lonely type.
You know?
Yeah.
Or 40, whatever, whenever she shows up, late 40s, early 50s, right?
Based on the pants.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it didn't seem like, okay, stop. Here comes the director has to pull out his soapbox and tell us stuff. It doesn't feel like that to me. It feels a little on the nose, but it not out of the realm of possibility. So I give it that.
I totally agree. I just feel like it comes closer to it than Jesse James does. That's all.
Right. Oh, for sure. For sure. But I mean, that film did inspire me to go back to Jesse James because right off the bat, I thought the guy was just aping Jesse James, and he wasn't. I mean, he was like, he's using is it wrong to use tropes of an American frontier diminishing? Is it wrong to use those tropes? No.
He could have used Dances with Wolves. I just think he's influenced by the right things, obviously, because Jesse James. And again, I think Vanishing Frontier, I don't know if it's Vanishing Frontier so much as the capriciousness of humans, especially as they create and destroy their own images.
Well, don't you think because as Robert Ford becomes closer to civilization, the myth is growing, even though he like, for all intents and purposes, he did the right thing. He did what the law wanted him to do. And it's so he's sort of the evolution of the 19th century as it going into the 20th century. He's part of the Industrial Revolution. I just see it as it's coming. You see the end, he's in this mining camp or in Colorado, and things are growing. Yeah. So I just see, as the world's growing, he's getting more disillusioned himself because these wild adventures are just that. They're just fanciful,
Right.
And I love Casey Affleck's performance in the end.
Yeah.
Just like and again, that's why I forgot about, we're not really getting into performance, but I forgot about how great Brad Pitt was, because in 2007 or early 2008, late 2007, when I rented the movie or however I saw it, it was on DVD. And I remember like, wow, this Casey Affleck isn't some jerk in an Ocean's 11 movie. This guy can act. I remember that. That's all I could think about the whole time. I was like, he's just incredible. Like, so I forgot about this being Brad Pitt's finest hour, for sure. I mean, Cliff Booth, we all love him, but that's the performance of a movie star, not an actor.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And Jesse James, he's never been scarier. Take Fight Club, take any of it. He's legitimately scary. Like, the entire movie, you're on pins and needles wondering what he's going to do to Sam Rockwell or whatever. You think, okay.
Anyone he's in the room with, honestly.
Yeah, I really liked the movie this time. I didn't even find it, like, I remember the first time I saw it, I found it a little slow, and then the ending really clinched it for me, so I went and I watched it again, and this is a great movie, and I bought it, but my first impression is that it was kind of slow moving, but I didn't feel that at all anymore. Probably just the comfort level of who's who and who's doing what, especially Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, real quick, back in the 90s, I always used to get in this argument, who was the better actor, Brad Pitt or Johnny Depp? And it's just incredible that people really believed whole hog that Johnny Depp, not that it matters, but it's like they really undersold Brad Pitt. Like, I remember going, no, Brad Pitt's a really good actor. I'm like, no. And I'm like, no, he's got, now I look at Jesse James like, how would anybody doubt that? I guess
Well,
Benjamin
at the
Button.
time, yeah, first of all, in the 90s, I mean, I can doubt it all over the place. Legends of the Fall, Meet Joe Black, and my favorite Interview with a Vampire, where he is gaslight. Like, it's not working.
Legends of the Fall is
Um,
not his fault. That's all Anthony Hopkins. Someday we have to do a podcast of Benjamin Button and Legends of the Fall.
Why?
Not Brad Pitt's fault.
Never
Benjamin
seen it, though.
Benjamin
not
Button
great, though.
Benjamin
He
Button's
doesn't-
not great, but it's not his fault. Kate Blanchett is I
I get it.
And
But
then
what I'm
Anthony
saying is,
Hopkins is so bad in Legends of the Fall. Brad Pitt comes out smelling like a rose.
what I would say is that, again, Johnny Depp started off fine and then is fine. Whereas Brad Pitt was like, ooh, some things aren't great. And then
Okay,
think
but he's
about
got 12 Monkeys. He's got True
Monkeys-
Romance. He's got things where he can show that he can throw fastballs.
Yeah, but again, only later, Tree of Life and Assassination of Jesse James, those two movies together, and I was like, this guy's genuinely just one of the best.
Yeah.
Because those two performances, first of all, super different and incredible. His best two performances. So I do think that he became a much better actor, whereas Johnny Depp just sort of stayed Johnny Depp. Quirky
Sure.
and whatever.
Well, the worst thing that ever happened to Johnny Depp was that whole Jack Sparrow thing.
Thank you.
But anyway,
Thank you.
we're not talking about
Anyway,
We're not.
regardless.
that. But Brad Pitt,
Never.
I just want to emphasize, I can't believe how I overlooked that. That's all.
Okay.
Thoughts,
I agree.
Alex? Alex, let's you talk. Let's add.
Yeah.
What about? What
Well,
what
talk
do
about
you want me to
anything.
say?
Any of it. What do you think of Brad Pitt? Isn't he great?
I think he's fantastic in this movie, and I never realized it. And maybe that's the beauty of this movie. The first time you see it, you appreciate it for just its poetry, its cinematic poetry, because it is a beautiful movie to look at.
Yeah.
With a great soundtrack
Great
and a very
script.
interesting story. But then, like a lot of movies that are maybe like that, a second showing, you're kind of like, well, that's really all there is.
Yeah.
This movie goes much deeper. And you realize that everything in the, you want to talk about like in Train Dreams, everything is kind of threaded together. Even the smallest little insect is just as important as this. It's like there is nothing that is lacking in Jesse James. Everything is important. Every player, everyone is so well cast. There's no gimmick in this movie. And maybe they can just, it's just another Brad Pitt movie. No. This is beyond. You can call it a Brad Pitt vehicle, but it's beyond that.
No way.
This movie,
it's an ensemble piece for sure.
It is. It's an ensemble piece because I think one of the best descriptions I heard about, yes, Andrew Dominik does show his influences on his sleeve, but he gives us a movie that is its own beast. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
I think. And I really do. I think it has a style that's like very definite.
Well, it's funny that it's against atonement because I have the same feeling with Joe Wright. Like, what was 2007? People were just on fire.
I don't
Atonement,
know. Maybe,
and,
who knows?
Never to be topped. And same thing, same deal. Like, what is going on in that year? Where
Well, and
maybe,
I do think those films are also asking the question that Train Dreams is. So it almost seems, if talk about evocative of that, of just like, as we transition from lawlessness, do we get further away from nature? As we transition towards more industry, does that make us get further away from nature? And what does that mean for us? And I think, both of those films ask that, but I also feel like sort of No Country for Old Men, come on, There Will Be Blood, all of these, when you're looking at a society, first of all, in 2007 also is like on the cusp of a bunch of the technological changes that now we take for granted, because that's like 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
So I feel like
hasn't that always
that?
Yeah, hasn't
And
that
now
always
Train
been
Dreams
like
is bringing that back.
Yeah. No, the idea of there was something to be said about in Train Dreams in the beginning with Robert Grenier. There was something to be said about a man and his axe or a saw, because it's very hands-on. So, you're one step removed from the tree, and that great line about that Arn had, or that was quoted from John Deel, that, a tree was your friend until you cut into it.
And it was war.
And it's like, and then it's war, and it's true, but there was something. I guess it's like, the stories of the Native Americans. When they would go on the buffalo hunt, they would have the prayer because they had great respect for their prey. So it wasn't just wholesale slaughter. And then as technology, the introduction of new things that make life a lot easier. Chainsaws, whoa. And this poor guy is
great, yeah.
and that's such a heartbreaking scene. You're like,
Yeah.
you feel it. But I was watching a podcast where they talked about, like, even in the days of the philosophers of ancient Greece, one of the biggest regrets was the introduction of writing, because now we won't rely on our memory anymore. It's like there's something about memory. There's something more tactile, I guess. There's something, you're more involved. But with technology, we remove ourselves, like you're saying, from nature. And thank God for people like Terrence Malick and Andrew Dominik and even Cliff Bennett.
Clint Bentley.
Clint Bentley. That guy.
He's new. He's the new kid.
They still have an appreciation for the real world, for the natural world, that there is something. And, if we divorce ourselves from it, then, we become everything we don't want to become, I guess.
I think that's yeah.
Do you think?
And also,
you think he's saying that in Train Dreams?
I think he's showing a loss and a change.
There's a loss. There's a definite loss.
I guess it just ends on such an idea. It ends on this sort of, our townish notion that all these moments were all worth it to make a man and make a country. That's how I felt about it. Like these were all sort of part of the growing and learning process.
I guess, but to me, one of the most poignant scenes is when he meets up again with John Deal.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And that, how is Arn? I haven't seen him. Yeah. And when he's trying to tie his shoe.
Yeah, for sure.
And he says, let me help you with that. I mean, those are, that little gesture right there, kind of like.
And in the movie. Fie on the American Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences for not giving Joel Edgerton any sort of recognition. Like, come on.
John Deal.
Well, John Deal, all right, fair enough.
I'm glad to see John Deal.
Both William Macy deserve Best Supporting Actor nominations.
Let's
for sure.
hope.
But those are, John Deal's is a cameo. They're both pretty much almost
They are cameos, but they stand out.
No, for sure.
For cameos,
for sure.
Joel Edgerton's response was
but Joel Edgerton was just phenomenal in this film.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not. It's hard to. We won't get into who is better, Brad Pitt or Joel Edgerton, because they are nowhere in the same ballpark.
No.
And they're both Joel Edgerton's sort of iron-jawed silence is that's to be equated with Jeremiah Johnson or something. It's definitely like in that realm, and he just pulls it off like the pro that he is.
He's responding to the world as it's changing and existing around him. Like Brad Pitt and Casey Affleck or Bob Ford and Jesse James are creating it. They're forming it. And so it is this
good point. Very good point.
And so they feel like such different and much more dynamic performances. Joel Edgerton is amazing, and each reaction of his is like amazing and heartbreaking.
Right,
and it does make that world more his, almost in a sense, because then we do have to look at the sum total of his responses and his experiences in life.
For sure, but like the best actor stuff that always like the like him breaking down in front of his Native American friend, that's just so good, because it's like, this is a pro actor who's not embarrassing himself. He's not doing something stupid. It's coming out honestly. And then that scene of just him apologizing about it. Yeah. He's like, this is such a, like, how many takes did he have to do to achieve that? Did he have to do it over and over? Was it a one take? I'd love to know, because it's like, that's the perfect sort of exemplification of a man in stress and grief and all of it. And there's
also
nobody.
something...
I mean, the guy's a good guy and a good friend, but even he's not going to like indulge it. So, and that's what's interesting about that one. Just skin it.
Yeah, skin it, like, which is the proper response.
Exactly. You had to get it out.
But he knew. Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah, he had to get it out, but there's nothing else to be said. That's what I love about that scene. Skin it.
Skin
Yeah.
it. Yeah, no.
Oh, that's
but
a great
just
scene.
a
And actually,
top
that whole
scene.
sequence is great.
Yeah, that's just top scene. Like, wow, he's really pulling off a lot, and even his admission to Kerry Condon that he's kind of thinking of giving up,
Mm-hmm.
and that's again he goes through this emotional roller coaster, but he has to do it seeming like a guy who shows no emotion, which that's some Leonard Nimoy level shit right there.
Okay, well, let me just say, on the other hand, Casey Affleck, what he's doing is remarkable, and I don't want to take away from Joel Edgerton or anything like that.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying the difference.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is Casey Affleck and Brad Pitt have these unbelievably dynamic performances without ever getting into hoo-ha territory.
Right.
No.
And that's also what's so amazing to me.
Even to this day, I still marvel at Casey Affleck's empty-eyed boasts.
You bet.
It's like he's rehearsed it, and you just see it. Like what a terrific performance right off the bat with Sam Shepard, which one of the finest scenes ever put on film.
Oh my holy
Written,
Lord, yes.
Some of the best writing I've ever heard. All of it. And that's where I was just completely blown away by Casey Affleck, because I didn't know. Again, I've Ben Affleck's little brother in Ocean's 11. I just. Good Will Hunting.
You've got to stop carping on that performance. He's completely fine in Ocean's 11.
Fine, but he just He just seemed like a coattail rider,
Sure,
and that's why I didn't see the
main show.
It's why I didn't see the film in the theater. I was like, I don't want to see any Casey Affleck movie,
Right.
And then right off the bat, like, wait, he's not only keeping up with Sam Shepard, he's almost and Sam Shepard's fantastic. He's surpassing him.
He's pushing the scene for sure.
No,
he's getting stuff out of Sam Shepard.
Yeah, no, his lazy, uncomprehendingly stupid performance of a guy who's rehearsed his big moment with that stupid hat.
Yeah, that hat. Stovepipe over here.
Stovepipe over here.
It's transcendent. Like, wow, Casey Affleck can act. Mm-hmm. That guy can act.
Yes, he can.
Far better than his dumb brother Ben.
That face, forget it.
No,
but all I'm saying is they have these potentially showy roles just because they do create so much of what's happening, and they don't overdo anything.
Well, I think a big part of it is, and I think this is the sign of like a good actor versus a great actor. A good actor will probably play the obvious, where a great actor is going to play against those emotions.
Sure.
I think we talked about this before. One of the easiest emotions, go to any acting class, and young actors, what's one of the first thing a lot of guys like to do? They love to play the anger.
Right.
They want to show how angry they are because anger is so easy to play.
Well,
when a good teacher is going to tell you, play against the anger.
And Casey Affleck playing in the anger, he channels a little child. It is. And that's what's so great about it.
The way it comes out.
That scene at the dinner table, when I write my book, Strike Zone, Scenes Around the Table, that's going to be in it. And I just think that scene builds so beautifully, from Sam Rockwell telling those stories about him to Casey Affleck, Brad Pitt.
Tell him.
By the time Brad Pitt sticks out his foot and his spur is there, that's like their actual shootout.
Yeah.
I just thought both of them acting like petulant youngest sons.
Yeah.
I love that.
That great moment when he tells the story about how you and I are very much alike.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really is heartfelt. And just to see Brad Pitt, that slow burn, ain't he special? And you feel it, and you really feel bad for Casey Affleck.
But then Bob Ford, what he's saying is true. And when he brings up like slapping that kid around, which is a problem, and which does get to Brad Pitt, I mean, he is accurate with the fuming, passive-aggressive rage of, a looked-over son. I love that line he says, where he's like, all the promises were broken, and everybody sort of forgot about me, and there was Jesse James, big as a tree.
Yeah.
Big as a tree.
And
Isn't he like the runt? He sort of uses terms like that, like he was the youngest or something.
He's the youngest.
I can't remember, but
he's the youngest.
He is okay. Yeah,
and
so
that's insane. He's like, we both have a brother between us. Both have 6 letters. All of that, and I just think
you got to scramble for.
Again, I'm a superficial guy. I just love it just for the obsessive Rupert Pupkinishness of it all.
Oh, what's frightening? I don't know.
Holy cow, this is embarrassing. Just the things he's rattling off.
Even more frightening. I don't know why, but watching Jesse James the second time around, the person that kept coming into my mind with Casey Affleck was Mark David Chapman.
Yeah.
The
sure.
man that shot John Lennon. And it
yeah.
was like, when you read his story, it was like, cuckoo. But it was like, there's somebody that, those people are real.
Well, the interesting thing
they're-
about Casey Affleck's performance is how it does transform into a world where he sort of a guy who did learn his lesson.
He did.
And
What
I
a
think
great
that's a
with
pretty-
Zooey Deschanel.
Yeah, no, but
Applause.
I wanted
Such a
applause.
That's why I love the movie, because it
never
isn't just this
came.
one-note story of a psycho. I mean, he does have this well-rounded character arc of, okay, this wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and now I'm kind of a Walking Dead man anyway.
Sure.
You know? And,
But even at the dinner table, he changes. Like, yeah, he has all that crazy shit, but then even when he's saying it, he says it was as long as your shirt or whatever, a list as long as your
Right.
shirt, but
Your
he doesn't
nightshirt.
go into the rest of it. Yeah. And then he attacks Jesse James in that, verbally in that scene. And so he changes even then.
Sure.
He's already seen just like, no, it sucks being the stooge.
right. Yeah.
He's not just a psycho.
Yeah.
And
he's
so
not just a hanger-on too. He wants
so
it
then
all.
he
And
creates his own path.
no, I think it's one of those injustices that, I mean, that was a tough year. Who won that year? And not that it even matters, because it lasts. But it's one of those things like, they really just write off the young guy. And I did, I just like, oh, he's not gonna be any good. He's Ben Affleck's brother, And then you watch that, and then of course when he does win Best Actor for a perfectly great performance, absolutely deserved that too. It's like, it's just a shame that he got into personal problems, and we aren't going to see him except playing
Oppenheimer,
chubby army aides.
No, it sucks.
Well, you make your choices in life, but the guy
Yeah,
has the goods.
Joel Edgerton is giving a full-on Robert Redford, Jeremiah Johnson performance, and I love him for it. I mean, it's top notch, but I do just think of all the stupid-ass performances that could have been given in Jesse James that weren't.
No,
At
not
all.
a soul.
Not a
Even
soul.
James Carville's not bad.
He's fine. He looks
he's
hard.
not.
He sounds fine.
And again, in any other director's hands, it would have been a gimmick, but he seemed like, no, he was the right man for the part.
And he's also in that scene surrounded by super good actors, and it's all.
He's got Michael
Lord,
Parks. He can
Michael
lean on
Parks.
Michael Parks. Yeah.
Ted
Ted
Levine.
Yeah.
And they all
Holy
looked
cow.
great together. I was
Yeah.
like, these guys look like an Old West photo. Like
They
this
do.
looks.
No, this is just
No, they
just
they-
great
yeah.
casting all around. And my gal Alison Elliott, my favorite. So good. Everybody's so good. Garret Dillahunt.
Garret- that scene, both Garret Dillahunt scenes, that scene in the cabin, and then I love that scene because Jesse James's line is so weird. He's like, "Your mind doesn't remember, but your body does."
Your
About the
body
stars.
does. About the stars,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I was like, and again, Jesse James lying, telling that story to Sam Rockwell. I was like, "You're lying! What a big fat liar!" There was no fight.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're weird, egocentric insecurities winding together like those snakes on his arms that he cuts off their heads. I was like, it's biblical. It's some good stuff. And again,
Good point, yes.
it bums me out that Train Dreams is definitely this lovely, melancholy human story. It is not biblical, except in the sense of maybe some sort of lost post-lapsarian innocence.
Okay, but does it have to be?
It doesn't have to.
No,
But
ordinarily.
for the sake of this podcast, it's
yeah,
tricky.
no, I know. It is a bad. I admit, everybody, it was a bad idea. They have superficial similarities, and obviously one inspired
But
the other.
there are the 6 degrees of separation
sure.
in some ways. We can make that
And again,
argument.
I was
We've
going
got
to
the
include Paul
the
Schneider.
Nick Cave.
Yeah.
We've got the
Let's
Paul
just
Schneider,
give Paul. Hey,
we've
let's
got
give
Sam
Paul Schneider his
Shepard,
due
we've
real
got-
quick.
I love that.
Fantastic.
Oh, holy cow! Yes,
Fantastic in Jesse
Well,
James, and
as
fantastic,
Apostle Frank and
fantastic in Train Dreams. So, Paul, if you're listening, we love you, baby.
We love you,
I
baby.
love how, he's just the only thing that shuts him up is the arrival of that black man.
First of all, his
suddenly
his face, and then him hauling
Oh.
ass and just getting it's just amazing.
But kind of that, just those moments, like sort of looking over to see, it's like it reminds me of Christmas Story. Where's Flick? Flick who? It was his little, and then he bolts for it.
The bolting.
But let's get back to Dick Little, which I'd forgotten how great he was.
Yeah.
Like he has some of the
and what an
greatest
important
dialogue
part
in the
to
whole
the
film.
story he is.
like,
Yeah.
he
A
has
way bigger
fantastic
part than I
dialogue.
remembered. I was an ass. I forgot.
How important he is to the story.
Yeah.
You can't have the story without Dick Little.
Yeah.
No, and he's doing.
And hey, let's give it up for young Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Playing, like, I remember thinking, who's this guy? And then, obviously he's gone on to fame and fortune. But when he started, he was raw. He was lean.
Well, he went from, I think it was National Lampoon's senior trip to that. It was like, that's the guy from National Lampoon.
I didn't know. This is the
Senior
first thing I
Trip.
ever saw him
Oh,
in.
holy cow.
Yeah.
It is fun to watch because, he gives it the old collegiate try in that movie.
Uh-huh.
He's just having a good time. But the fact that, this guy's got something.
Yeah.
He was great. And
Yeah,
then,
no, he, again.
And just the ease with the vernacular, that.
Right.
It's and again, it's like when you're reading.
And Paul Schneider, all of them. I'm just like, these guys are really making all their discussion. I love that discussion when they're comparing Mary Todd Lincoln to Jefferson Davis's wife.
Yeah. Is this? Have you read the novel, Roseanne?
No.
Okay.
I wish.
I'd be curious because it's such a well written movie.
Yeah.
Like how much of it was.
I would imagine he's probably scoured all the great diaries from the Civil War when everyone spoke like. I mean, it was just like, my God, everyone wrote like Shakespeare.
Well,
even the most uneducated.
Parenthetically, I was in a meeting, and after I saw Jesse James the first time, I used the word diddle just because I didn't realize it meant slur.
Oh,
like
silly man!
I heard it, and then I said it like, "Oh, I've been diddling around with film music," and wrong usage, buddy. Everybody just stopped, like sideward glances at me.
Yeah,
but such a good line. Heard you diddle the squaw.
Yeah, heard you diddle the squaw.
Yeah.
Well, first of all,
Poetry don't. What was it? Poetry don't
work on whores.
Work on whores. Yes.
Great line.
All great lines. One of my favorites is he killed Ed like it was something. Piddly he done. Something piddly he done. or Bob, he's antsy.
He's antsy.
Sam Rockwell delivers it all so effortlessly. Great performance too.
Paul Schneider's character is also hilarious. I love that he's just creepily talking to that what looks like a 12-year-old girl.
Sure.
And
again, in defense of my buddies who made Horizon, all very accurate. It wasn't.
I know.
No,
that's why I liked it, because it wasn't. It was just like, yeah, that guy would 100% do that and see no difference, like every other dude at that time.
Right.
I liked all of that. I liked the cruelty towards the kid whose name I can't remember. What's his name? Arnold? I can't remember. Albert, right?
Albert. And he's a cousin of the Fords.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but I'm just like, well, on the other hand, you just did smack the shit out of kids like that. So I liked all of it. And again, I like the fact that the women, even though they're in the background, I love Mary-Louise Parker. I love that she hates Bob, like that she stiffens up almost like a cat when he comes into the house.
It's all there.
And
it's all there.
Yeah, it's all there. And I love
what do you need to know? They are relegated to the background because that's how Jesse James and the gang view them.
Right.
They are it's like their sister, and she's got Alison Elliott's got the biggest part.
She does when she's talking to poor Jeremy Renner as he's done. Well, the kids will miss you.
I know.
Well, even
matter of fact,
how about since we're out?
But that's an interesting scene because of just this notion of just send him on his way.
Yeah.
And I laughed. Yeah, that's something we don't do, anymore. It's also reserved, and that there they are just talking to him, the dying body.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alex.
And what about Kaylan C? as the wife of Jeremy
Oh,
Renner's
Stepmom.
stepmother.
Horn.
I mean,
And what did she ever do?
she's Canadian. All I know is she's a Canadian actress, and you would think that that would be something that, who is that?
That's what
You know?
and I looked her up and I was like, wow, she didn't do much.
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
And I
just
was
that,
I was thinking it's an interesting part because she pulls it off effortlessly. Like she pulls it off like she's a movie star. You know, and I'm like, what happened?
well, she had the poise,
Yeah.
but
A
lot
also
of
just
confidence.
yeah. That scene in the privy. Oh my! Just the flirtation between those two.
But
Well,
when
the
he walks-
creepy sort of earthiness of it all from that
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Like, well,
What's her
here's
final
a-
line? Like, I'm not such a lady, or something
Right.
in the
Yeah.
dark, and it was like, yeah. It kind of
A scene that could have been annoying, and really,
sure.
what
No,
definitely just sort of. I thought it was a great character development for Dick Little. I'm just like, yeah, it does work sometimes. Like
It
this
does.
does work. He's not just bragging. Like it works on people.
well,
I like
there's
seeing
what was it? Have you? I don't know if either of you have seen Missouri Breaks. I mean, you probably
Yeah,
haven't you?
years ago I haven't seen it.
Yeah, years ago. But there are moments like that. But the way it's handled in this movie was like, okay.
Missouri Breaks is
just-
saddled with one irritating lead actress.
Catherine,
There's
what
What's
was her name?
Face? I can't remember her name.
Black brunette.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Anyway.
No, but there are scenes like that with some of Jack Nicholson's gang character. The way they have, the just sort of the way they are toward women.
Yeah.
They really are just.
I
Anyway,
don't know
but
if
this
they're-
movie handles it well.
I think Andrew Dominik's just sure hand with all of it makes
I think so. Yeah.
it just seem like right. It doesn't seem, he doesn't need to make it about the women in any way. They just are a fixture of Jesse James's world, And
Yeah.
and Mary-Louise Parker's
Well, that's
Mary-Louise
just it.
Parker does a ton of work without having dialogue explain. Well, just because don't you know I'm all alone here, Jesse? There's just
Yeah.
we don't need it. We can just see she's lonely. And she's
Also, I just love she does such a great job of just wordlessly welcoming him home.
Yeah.
And you can tell how thankful she is that he's there, that he
Yeah.
came back, and likewise when he dies.
Oh, it's
She
a great
doesn't-
scene. It's
such a good
I
scene.
forgot all
love
about
when
it.
she's like, "Did you do this, Bob?" And
No, I forgot
I
all about
swear,
it. And they're like lying about the
Yeah.
gun going off, and
yeah, and it's an
I
accident.
forgot what a
whatever.
great scene it was, and
Yeah.
she's
But even
pulling it off.
She is.
the moments after that when they're displaying the body.
Yeah.
Like it really is like a sideshow.
Yeah.
And just the look on her face, like this resignation that what are you going to do? I mean, this is her husband on display, on ice, literally on ice.
Yeah.
Pay your $5 for a view.
And I bet
I
you
will
didn't even get
say-
a cut of it.
I'm certain. But I will say that your friend Clifton St. Hubban, whatever his name is, who did Train Dreams, I think he had an equally sure hand with the females in his cast.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't feel like they were underused. I felt, again, like you said, when Felicity Jones shoots that, I love, first of all, the lines when Joel Edgerton, the deer want me to shoot him, that he's like a shitty shot.
Yeah.
And I love that whole scene, and that it keeps coming back to him as, something he remembers fondly about his wife.
Oh, I know.
Well, I think the other thing, too, that they touch on in such a subtle, wonderful way is, because he is gone for such long periods, she has to become self-reliant.
Yeah.
When she's making that fish trap, well, that's some bassinet. Oh, that nice little banter they have between the two. But so she's shooting guns and building fish traps. I mean,
Well, and you get the
there's
impression that she
nothing.
was already independent and just became even more so.
No, he sets
Because
her
of
up really
her
well.
wife.
She's a great character. I love
Yeah.
she's the one who asks
Yeah,
him
she
out
really
basically, and she's proposing marriage to him basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all just she's
She
a good
initiates
character.
the relationship,
and she
yeah.
doesn't feel out of period, which is always what pisses me off about most movies. It's like this
Right.
just wouldn't happen. There's nothing that happens in that movie like that. It all feels completely of the period. The dialogues of the period. It's all just really great stuff. William H. Macy, I sort
William
of
H.
oh
Macy.
no, I
Go
literally
ahead, Toby.
breathed in the first time. William H. Macy, and then like, oh, he's come back. He's back to doing great work again. You know,
Yeah.
because he hasn't been great. You know, I haven't seen him in his TV shows, but
what he's done.
I think of even in The Room, he wasn't terrific. You know, did you guys see Room? Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot he was the dad.
I remember thinking he's kind of disappointing. You know, sort of spelling it all out, not great, but in this, fantastic. You know,
I loved, again, his dialogue also was great. Just like, we worked all around all the hours on the clock.
I know.
No, just like, I don't want to make the Minnesota boys mad. Yeah. I loved all of this.
That was good. That's what I mean. There's nothing to not like about the movie. It's just not. It's not superhuman. It's a mortal movie. But if only all mortal movies were this good, you know.
Well, but it also gives hope. You know, again, like we've said before about other directors, you know, it's like, you know, a new voice on the horizon, a new voice. Let's hope, you know, they continue on that path that they're on, you know. So, yeah, will I be excited for another Cliff Bentley movie? Well, I hope so. I mean, you know.
Well, if you go see a Cliff Bentley movie, let me know how it is. But I'm going to go see the next Clint Bentley movie.
Okay. You leave me alone. I'm old, so I'm like
I'm like
John Deal. I'm like John, somewhere between John Deal and Arn. It's like, oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? I just saw my wife and kid just a moment ago.
I do this all the time. I couldn't even on the last podcast. I couldn't even say who directed the Wuthering Heights. Anyway, who cares? The Wuthering Heights director. I couldn't remember her name. Fentanyl. Biltbob.
Fentanyl.
Somewhere in there. Just
I will say also, so as much as it would be nice if all mortal movies were this way, then it would be also nice if all sort of epic movies were as truly epic as Jesse James.
Jesse James, right?
There's hope.
You got Apocalypse Now. You got Tree of Life. What are the best epic movies we got? Let's quickly.
Jesse James is up there, 100%.
Sure. I'd say it's in the top
Godfather, 5. Would you put that with Godfather?
So Godfather as 1 and 2. Forget the rest. Forget the other.
Right.
You got
that one.
You got Blade Runner. You got You got Apocalypse Now, of course. You got Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. I'd even say let's bring in our good buddy Robert Redford with Jeremiah Johnson.
I would say Jeremiah Johnson's up there.
And you put Tree of Life in there,
Tree of Life? Absolutely.
Tree of Life, okay.
So originally I was going to put Tree of Life in there in this podcast, and Roseanne wanted to, and I'm like, no, you can't. No. But now I'm starting to... I was selling... Let me just finish. I was selling Jesse James short. Tree of Life and Jesse James are probably co-partners in Brad Pitt's like 2 greatest movies, you know, and he's contributed to the best movies of all time.
I think so. I think they're the downhill racer Jeremiah Johnson of Brad Pitt for certain. But also, 100% 2 of the best epics about what it is to be human
and American.
Alive, American.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Oh, I really wish we had talked about Tree of Life just because in terms of like, are you kidding? All that DDT and...
Well, then you owe your listeners...
Well, we'll have to do Tree of Life with... I don't know. What do we do?
I don't know.
Something equally small.
Well, make you watch The Thin Red Line.
I don't want to.
Nick Nolte.
Oh, God.
The greatest misstep of Terrence Malick's career.
Okay, everyone deserves one. Everyone deserves one.
Anyway, I don't even know. Do we even talk about both films do look amazing? But Jesse James, come on, all that snow
Roger
fizzing.
Deakins. Okay, whoever, I forget who the cinematographer was on this. Tremendous work on Train Dreams. Tremendous work. Not even close. Not even close. But you're fighting. That's against.
It's Roger Deakins. It's like the State Fair.
Like, you're talking about Roger Deakins.
Yeah,
you're talking about
come
the
on.
I know.
You're talking about the
there
best.
are times, Brad.
And that was a good year for Roger Deakins.
But remember,
that movie,
Assassination
No Country
of Jesse
for Old
James
Men,
was 2006. They just held on to it because they didn't know what to do with it.
Oh, okay. Well, and then he went right into No Country for Old Men. So it was a good period for
No
him.
Country, right?
No.
Oh.
He did not.
Oh.
What?
I got to go back
What
and
did he
take a
win
look.
for?
No.
I thought he did.
No, he didn't. Surprise, surprise. You'd think that he would.
Didn't he win for Skyfall or something crazy like that?
He won for something
I
in
don't
that.
know.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
No, but he did not win for either Jesse James or. Gosh, who did?
Well, he should have won for Jesse James for sure.
That's
even if
Rembrandt.
No Country for Old Men, but I think Jesse James is by far the more nuanced. I don't want nuance, but it's. I mean, No Country is great, but Jesse James has just that train scene alone. He should have gotten an Oscar. Just the arrival of the train. That's
First
just
of all,
that's.
But
terrific.
there's something very ethereal about Jesse. You know the cinematography.
The blurred edges.
Love the scene.
The blurred edges.
The blurred images and also the time lapse when Garret Dillahunt is watching Brad Pitt riding toward him. That sort of the time, because it is something good is not going to happen.
Right.
I just think all that, when I think of the great cinematography, I honestly just think of the lighting inside the train, the lighting inside the saloon at the end, all of it's just impeccable. The sense of period and place is so good. The camp the bar where he's gets gunned down, it's all just so beautifully lit. Every scene just looks like
it's looking out the window, though.
Oh,
it's
just
lit.
the mirror. Again, it's not like Schindler's List where you see what he's doing. Just the scene of him, the reflection of Robert Ford about to kill. Just great shots through and through. Like it's just, I would say the blurred sort of, what's
the chromatic aberrations?
Yeah. What's
around the edges?
It's creating this notion of like looking into a Nickelodeon or something. It's creating that idea. I think it's a little overused in the beginning. I think it works much better at the end.
I think it could have been way more gimmicky. Yeah,
it feels a little bit like a gimmick in the beginning.
I don't think it gets in the way, though. I'm not
thinking this way, but it's noticeable. I think in the end, it's more appropriate. That'd be my one quibble about that technique.
My quibble is that they didn't give Sam Shepard the Academy Award for you got about a half a ton of lumber to move, dingus.
Dingus. That, and I don't know what it is about you. The more you talk, the more I get the willies. You give me the willies.
Well, why do you think he disappears for most of the movie?
I don't know.
He's just
because I don't know.
I wonder if that's an editing choice.
Like
Sam Shepard was only available for these scenes because he really disappears for the rest of the film.
Yes, he does. He does.
First of all, that seems like Sam Shepard would. I feel like he shows up in 2 scenes in a lot of movies during the 2000s before he dies. So I don't know about that. But I also thought they didn't talk anymore. I thought this was supposed to be like Jesse James is without his family.
Huh. Well, they mentioned what happened when he dies.
I think in the context of the history, he wanted out, and he headed to Virginia. Or whatever,
after that, they were done or whatever.
Yeah, no more escapades with these tyros.
There's no reference to him when after Jesse's big famous burial and big famous death. So you just figured he'd bring him back into the film. But anyway, he doesn't. Not the end of the world.
Yeah. I like that he doesn't, only because it makes Jesse James, of course, seem even that much more lonely in a sense. And
One could argue that.
Anyway,
so let's talk. I guess the tech. We've kind of gone into the technical aspects. What do you think of? Okay, Nick Cave obviously didn't do the score for Train Dreams, but what do you think of the Nick Cave Warren Ellis score, Alex Robertson?
I have it on my playlist. It's always been a favorite.
I love A Song for Bob for sure. That's always been one of my favorite themes of their
just
output.
Those sonorous notes in that piano. I mean, so you want to talk about evocative, evocative acting, evocative directing. I would describe that music as evocative. That's the best way I can put it. It's like when something. When I hear that music, I can see it. It's like, when you could, if that makes sense, like something comes to mind. It's more than just these beautiful notes arranged on a piano or whatever, but these scenes, whether it's from Jesse James, it's cinematic.
I do think they kind of encapsulate Bob's downfall as a depressed human being really well. I mean, that's the perfect music. That's the perfect theme for him, and this sort of
it's
quiet
gorgeous.
piano piece that just feels nothing but sad and disillusioned.
And I even love, bringing Nick Cave in as the balladeer.
Yeah.
It weren't 3 kids, it was 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter, it's the myth. But again, no, I think that is I love it. I mean, it is. Different in from something like really sweeping, like like one of your favorites.
Sure, like John Williams or James Horner.
John Williams, epic, but no, because
it's
a
style that completely works in the film, and even as an album, it's a good listen for sure.
Like it's born out of the imagery.
Yeah,
it's like I wouldn't want anything else. I wouldn't want. It has to be minimalist.
Yeah.
It has to be stark. It has to be melancholy.
So I don't know the composer for Train Dreams, but it didn't seem in that vein, though, right? Train Dreams had a more, they use a Nick Cave song. It was a more, I'd say, synthesizer-based score. It wasn't a small sort of ensemble. It seemed a little more epic and a little more worldly, I guess. No, Roseanne, thoughts?
I don't know.
No, that's what I said. It's more lush, and I feel like Nick Cave certainly, like, if you listen to any other Nick Cave music, he's, first of all, Australian, so he understands, like, desolation, and I think they
did the fabulous score for The Road.
Sure.
Another good one.
And I think he did The Proposition. We talked about that earlier, the other Australian
Roseanne, have you seen The Proposition?
Yeah.
That's Andrew Dominik too, right?
Of course.
Is it Andrew Dominik? Okay, I was trying to figure out.
I've never seen it.
Are you sure?
Well, I mean, I don't know, because Chopper was his first movie.
Wait.
Chopper was his first.
Dominik.
I think. Looking it up.
Hold on. Here we go. I'm on the IMDb right now.
Chopper Assassinate. No, he did not do.
But because Proposition has that feel, that's why I always assumed. You know what happens when you assume.
Australian and he's New
John
Zealand.
Hillcoat. What's the difference?
Yeah.
John Hillcoat.
Exactly.
John Hillcoat.
Sure.
That's right.
John Hillcoat.
No.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, Nick Cave wrote the script. Oh, how about that?
Oh, okay. Even more.
So John Hillcoat, of course, our good friend from The Road.
Correct.
And then Lawless, and then that's it.
Yeah. Well, 2 films.
So what is it with these Aussie directors that give us these brilliant movies
and then quit?
Wasn't
a hit. I'm done with this.
I'm out of here. You can have your Yahoo series. I'm gone.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, again, I was talking to my friend. We were talking about, again, lawlessness and law, and how the United States and Australia are really similar in that way in our relationship.
Yes.
With, how we feel about
origin of the
when
country.
I was there, that's all I could think about. Like, this is this weird amalgamation of England and the Old West. It just is. Sure. It's just that's the first thing that jumped out at me. And then you eat their greasy gravy-filled pastries, and you just want to go, I am in England in the Old West.
well, how much more American, is a movie like Mad Max, even though it has that feel, but it just
what?
Yes, in a way, Mad Max and
I feel like it's wildly Australian.
They are wildly, but there is.
Movie.
I don't know. I'm not going to say it's American, but I'm saying
you just said it was American.
I'm not saying it was American. It has American feel in a way.
Well, it's clearly influenced.
It's
clearly influenced by greaser car movies. For
car movies,
definitely.
But
and westerns. Well, I think the Road Warrior has that.
Okay, forget let's just talk about Mad Max. He clearly was on one of these American, like renegade, Hell's on Wheels type
for sure.
kick. Like, I want to make one of these car movies, not unlike our not Gone in 60 Seconds. What's the other one you love? What's the guy? We did a podcast about it. God, curse this.
Oh, yeah. Vanishing
Point. There we go.
Vanishing Point.
It just seemed like that was the clear influence.
Okay, but also Australia and America have hugely similar backgrounds,
For sure.
and so
we got stretches of
they-
desert like them.
Stretches
and also
and criminals running all over the
the
place.
abject colonization. So there's this weird
Yeah.
feeling of this isn't exactly the whole story, except when you are exposed to the nature of it. And then the nature is this sort of blistering, unrelenting thing sometimes, but also this dangerous thing. And I think that shows definitely in sort of bringing Nick Cave to the party. And so bringing Nick Cave to Assassination of Jesse James, I think goes perfectly with the sound and the sight of it, because I think they marry into each other really well because of that.
Fair enough.
And I think,
So we got to get John Hillcoat and Andrew Dominik to do an American Civil War movie.
I think so.
but
one guy takes the North scenes and the other guy takes the South
It
scenes.
takes this. Okay.
you say that like a bad idea, but it's a great
I'm not because
No, I think it's a wonderful.
Remember when I
because
first
number
landed
one,
in
I
Australia,
think
all I could do was marvel how it looked like Eastern Oregon. You know, so
I really-
obviously they're feeling the English saloon, roots. Like, okay, so obviously we sort of relate to each other on this deserty hellscape influenced by England.
but also an appreciation for that archaic language.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Just they seem to have an ear for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, and also interestingly, you should see the proposition, and we're getting way off topic.
Yeah,
here,
we
but
are.
A lot of it having to do with
Well,
the
Australian
weird-
directors.
Sure, cliffs and Aborigines, and I mean John Hillcoat. He doesn't shy away from the tough questions. I mean, honestly, it's a real movie.
Yeah.
That I think takes all of that stuff.
Never seen it.
into-
I've always been scared of it. I thought it was about.
Well, I
Is it
remember
about
it's- I
cannibalism?
remember
Because
it-
I'm always afraid.
No,
It's all,
No.
see,
does it?
See, it's about cannibalism.
Okay.
I told
Well, I
you.
never
And
finished
I
the
can't-
movie. All
can't
I
deal with
remember was.
cannibalism.
That's cannibalism. I think
that's your problem.
Anyway, I do think Nick, you brought up in terms of the score. I think Nick Cave is the perfect choice,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and so I really like
So
that.
so wait, who's our composer? I should have memorized this before I
Train
started.
Dream.
For the Train Dreams
I just saw the
podcast.
Train
name,
Dreams
but now I'm
registers
looking
a lot
elsewhere.
less with me. I realize.
looking-
Yeah,
it's not
it's a little. I'm not gonna say it's conventional, but it was a little unremarkable.
Yeah, I didn't feel any.
Some good news. The proposition is on Tubi. Thank you, Tubi. You're
Okay,
a godsend.
Well, that's next,
You're
I
a
guess.
godsend. I love Tubi.
It's not
Anyway.
cannibalism. It's not that. It's other stuff. Anyway, go. Sorry.
So it's
With
not
proposition.
cannibalism.
No.
So where did I get that in my head?
It's that
I
it's
don't know.
Raven.
Are you there wasn't there a Robert Pattinson
It-
movie?
Robert
Yes.
Carlyle is what you mean.
Or see, there I go, right there.
Dad.
Robert Bentley,
Carlyle.
Robert Bentley, Cliff Carlisle, Cliff. What's
Take a night on Penalty.
Bryce Dessner. Bryce Dessner did the music.
Yes.
Bryce Dessner sounds like he did the music.
Oh, he did The Revenant.
Oh, really?
Cyrano.
I don't remember The Revenant. I don't
I don't
remember that.
remember any.
Oh, and he
Okay.
was no. He did not do The Revenant. He was in the music department. So he composed.
okay, so he was-
composed the Two Popes, Train Dreams, and Cyrano. So he's one of these Netflix guys, I guess.
Okay.
So
Well,
Cyrano.
Are
with
we
our-
talking
with our
Cyrano
good
with
friend
Peter Dinklage?
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
Fucking Peter Dinklage. Sorry.
All right. We're going way off track here.
Yes, you are. But
Okay.
it's
So you brought up your score, so that's on you.
That is.
Yeah.
That is. Okay, we've thrilled to the cinematography of both what's his name, Roger Deakins, and
Roger Deakins.
who did let's go back to Train Dreams, because
And you
this
gotta
guy
go back.
deserves
It is
Adolfo
Adolfo
Veloso.
Veloso.
So what did he
Veloso, a
do?
Brazilian.
He shoots like a Brazilian, all that natural light. Decent eye for sure. It did remind me of what's his face from Tree of Life, Emmanuel Lubitsky. So
I will say he had softer edges, though. So
Yeah.
and
Well, it's like
that's fine.
the
He's
fellow
no-
that the fellow that used that Terrence Malick used in Days of Heaven.
Oh.
Nestor Almanov. I I can never think of his name. He was a designer. I think he was a lighting designer, but he used him for that, that beautiful cinematography in Days of Heaven, which is definitely all over these two movies.
Yeah.
But
so, and by the way, Sam Shepard, right? So you say Sam Shepard is the influence in Assassination.
Well, because he's in Days of Heaven. Yeah, you've got him.
So
in Days
I read a
of
story
Heaven,
on Wikipedia that Andrew Dominik showed Terrence Malick a cut of Assassination of Jesse James, and Terrence Malick said it's too long.
Okay. Wow, that's got to be long. I mean, it's got to.
What do you mean by it? You mean dancing in a field long, or staring at a sunset
in a river
long?
long?
What do you mean by long?
The creation of the universe long. I mean, give me a bone here, Mr. Malick. I'm just trying to make my way into this.
Both films very strong cinematography. That's why Train Dreams. I mean, again, I was scoffing and acting like a know-it-all when I was like, oh well, he's clearly influenced by Terrence Malick. Again,
yes.
Why not, right? Why not make good movies based on what good people do versus, say, J.J. Abrams copying Michael Bay's techniques or something,
I'm also very influenced by Terrence Malick, but I can't show that in film, and because I have zero talent. So when it comes to him doing that, I do applaud him for it. Again, he chose movies that what feels like he chose movies that I respect, or a style that I respect, and so I did respect his film, telling a story that I respect.
Yeah. Yeah, if anything, now we often, especially I often rail against modern filmmakers, but there are a lot of good ones, as it turns out. They just don't get any box office attention, or especially now with streaming. But Train Dreams was like a relief that, okay, there are good people, and we know this. Robert Eggers makes good films. I mean, what's his face? We've done 2 podcasts about him. The Pete's Dragon guy, what's his name?
Lowry.
David Lowery.
David Lowery.
There are good
David
filmmakers.
Right.
There's a good crop of young
David
filmmakers.
Lowery making another great Affleck movie.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And the story, we've got the Safdie brothers. I mean,
I think
it was,
filmmakers.
There's lots of good filmmakers. I guess
so
streaming is how they're getting their. Obviously, in the movie theaters, they're just not showing them, or they're not showing them enough. At least where I go to the movies, it's all just crap. I mean, I can't sit through the round of trailers. They're all like, I used to love trailers. I don't love trailers now. I miss the trailers. I don't want to see these umpteen trailers to a horror movie. It's all horror movies.
Well, yeah, but they're just
like I have to amend what I said when we were talking about the year in review and how cinemas, I hate movies now. I'm like, no, I just have to look harder for them. And that's fine.
I didn't know. I mean, I stopped Netflix, so I didn't know. I was like, what's this? And so, Nina said, oh, you want to watch it? And I'm like,
like Train Dreams, right?
What?
People did like Train Dreams.
I guess. It wasn't any. Again, who knew? Who knows how they measure this sort of thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think critics liked it.
I think.
Yeah, it's a respectable film, but we'll never know what the metric is for liking it, because Netflix is such a turkey about letting you know what's. They just list the top 10. They don't list. There's no list of like how many views each film has.
Does Assassination of Jesse James have like staying power? Did people end up liking that film?
I think it's developed.
I don't know how deep it goes. Maybe this podcast will revive some interest. But
that'd be cool.
But it was a box office flop, which is why Andrew Dominik probably was beaten more, down. Not that Killing Me Softly or his subsequent films were bad, but it's just like Joe Wright, like, well, he's not on that level anymore, and time to get it back. But it was a flop, and nobody really liked it. And I mean, well, that's not true. It was critically, I think it was solid, but it just no. So I don't know if it's gaining popularity. It should. But again, people have more of an...
Really should.
I don't know about people, but my guess is the attention span is just getting shorter, right?
Yeah.
In a sense. Well, I don't know. That's a generalization. Look, Marvel movies are long,
I was
right?
like,
Marvel movies are long. They're 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Jesse James is 3 hours long. Okay? It's a long movie, but it's just holds it. I don't...
But wouldn't you say that a Marvel movie is relentlessly long?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
but
just
then
one
it's all what you're,
noisy affair
it's
after
all
another.
the pace that you're used to. So Jesse James does have a slower pace if you're not interested or engaged in what's going on. And again, it's taken me 4 views. Well, this one maybe my 5th view of the film.
Okay.
And it's been years, as I said, at least 13 years. This time I was just wow, this is an incredibly great, fast-paced movie. That's how I'm viewing it now. But 20 years ago, I wasn't. I'm just more involved in all the elements to tell a story. What's that?
Do you feel like it comes with age? Do you feel
comes
like
with
it comes
age,
with
comes
age?
with experience watching movies? Movies?
Probably.
I'm tired of Spider-Man now, finally!
Maybe. And maybe when you watch enough... Maybe... So, and maybe when you watch enough crap, as we all
I'm just
have,
tired.
It has a way of just kind of flushing it out. Like, okay,
I go to the movies a lot, and now it's all just blah, right?
Yeah.
Though I hold on.
I
just saw the drama, which we need to do a podcast about as soon as you two see it. That was fantastic. Okay. So again, there's good filmmakers out there.
No one's saying there isn't. It's just you got. I guess you have to really just be on the alert, be vigilant, figure it out.
I was saying there wasn't.
Who do we look to?
I think I was saying there was not. I was despairing, and now I really do remember. I'm just like, no, you just have to find them,
right?
Like, and so
because
I am glad.
Get hoodwinked.
In that sense, I'm glad you told me to watch Train Dreams. So I am glad we are comparing these two because I'm like, okay, maybe it's not the epic that Jesse James is, but it's worth including in a film that matters to humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
obviously it is made by somebody who we hope, that's... I'm curious to see his previous movie. I think it's called The Jockey with... Is he in bed with names?
No, Clifton Collins.
Clifton Collins, yeah, he's yeah. So it's like, well,
I will watch it now. I mean, Clifton Collins graciously did the 2-second cameo.
Yeah, and a great scene.
Water out of a boot.
And what is it with the boot? The boots really have a significance in that movie throughout.
Well, is it not a sign of the working man? I thought that it was just sort of the image of the working man, right?
But also, that, and I guess a symbol of mortality.
But that pinned against the tree is striking, and whether he's being overt or not, it's striking. Like, okay, it feels
is. And when he
sad,
sees it years later,
it's sort of this testament to the working man. Look, hey, I love me a hard on his sleeve working man screenwriter and director. Look at Journey Natty Gann. I love that movie.
I've never seen it, so. Yeah, but the boots on the tree have even more impact when he sees it again, and that's when he's dealing with all the new young guys. Yeah. They seem a lot rougher. Were we that rough, But and again, the burgeoning technology and how it just seems to be dehumanizing people, or maybe not dehumanizing, but just really.
But also the callous disregard for his life. And his experience.
Yes.
And that's where it hurts. That's where it hurts the
Yeah.
most. That's why this movie just makes me want to cry the whole time, because who doesn't feel like this as they grow towards accelerated decrepitude? It just feels like there's what?
Yeah.
No, how great is John Deal's line? Like, isn't that the question?
Right.
Isn't that the question?
Yeah.
That scene has even more than just Joel Edgerton's, reaction to him and his obvious, dementia or, fading mind. The fact that he still gets, we still get something from John Deal's being alive still and living through all of that.
Yeah.
And that scene, that's just the best. Sorry, I realize it's late in the podcast to talk about that, but it's just so good.
You've turned
There's
around.
a lot of
You love the
great.
film? You love the film now? Does like go to love?
I really does like go to love. That's maybe.
You started the
there's a lot of
podcast
good
saying
stuff
you liked the film. You didn't love the film.
It's okay.
It's hard to love it at the same time as talking about Assassination of Jesse James. It is hard.
And I fully admit that maybe that wasn't fair.
Maybe it wasn't, but I think it's one of those movies that will stand on its own.
Welterweight versus heavyweight, right?
Fine, but I think it's a movie that will stand on
Some of
its
those
own.
welterweight fights are just action-packed, right?
Some of the best fights are welterweight fights. I'm sorry. Middleweights, welterweights, they're more exciting than the heavyweights.
I love it, whatever.
Hey,
that scene.
Boom Boom Mancini, okay? There you go. It was brutal stuff, but still.
Okay, so she loves it now. See, we win. We win. I win.
You win. No, but it's no,
Here's
no regrets watching these movies, especially with Jesse James, but even Train Dreams, and seeing it a second time. And here's I told Gino this, but I think this is a good sign. My wife said, you can watch it if you want. I don't know if it's your style of film. So she she watches the movie. At one point, she gets up. I got to take a break, and she looks at me and she gives me the But then she comes back and she finishes the film. And at the end of the movie, she doesn't say, if she hates the movie, that's the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life, It was like, she said in a very honest way, I don't know what to think of that movie. It's like, well, good, then think about it. But she said it was a relief to see a movie that had no violence, none of the usual stuff that we see in so many of the movies today. It's like, you're right.
No fornication. There was no fornication.
Well, there was the love making, which was beautifully done.
But they were married.
Yes, they were married. That's true. So maybe that's why she just dismissed it as like, it's not, the conquest, or just, here we go again, another gratuitous sex scene. But I think, maybe if she had a chance to watch it again, she might think like, I'm beginning to understand this movie.
And can we just give a quick nod to Clint Bentley for thinking he's setting up with a Silas Marner story and doesn't follow up and makes it more of a mystery and more was that part of the dream of life, which I loved with the girl coming in with the broken leg.
The girl, yeah.
Like I thought, okay, now it's getting now it's going to go into cornball territory. It doesn't. It's like doesn't. Even that's an even better scene than I ever imagined it would be. And then watching it a second or third time, I love that scene. It's just like, yeah.
And again, you wonder if it's
James territory, just because it's surreal. It's like, what is? Yeah. Is this him? Is this just someone in the woods? What there's a.
But she's really abused. She's got blood all over her face.
Yeah.
Is she attacked by a bear? Is she attacked by a man? What is it?
Well, is she a feral child?
It's a really interesting scene.
And then when he sees the performance in Spokane, everyone else is laughing at the boy in the costume, but he's brought to tears.
Yeah.
And I love that beautiful scene in Spokane, just when he sees John Glenn. Who's that? What's he doing? Yeah. He's in space, and then he looks up, and then what's that? That's us. Wow.
I thought that was a little on the obvious side.
No, it could have gone.
Yeah, it was fine. It seemed like he was pushing the envelope.
You could have gone down Jim Carrey territory.
Well, again,
but still.
Sorry.
No,
say something, Roseanne. I'm
ball
hogging.
No, I was just thinking that in terms of he also makes this very sort of heartbreaking choice based on that, whether it was true or not. That he does sit and wait.
Yeah.
Like it said that he decides to sit and wait in case she comes back.
Putting food out.
Like,
that's why I love this film.
Isn't that such a common?
It doesn't stay steady. It keeps building and building.
No, it definitely does.
Yeah.
That's why the end. That's why maybe I still can't love it. I'm like, I do think the end is. I wanted it to be less hokey.
I think it's fine. He dies alone. He dies in a bed growing with vines. I think it's a good ending. Okay. It ends on an R-Town level. Okay.
It does.
R-Town's a hit for a reason. We love R-Town. Who doesn't love R-Town?
Eric
They're all
Stoltz,
just so
Penelope
asleep.
Miller,
Everybody's just so
Richard.
damn asleep. That's what I'm saying about you, motherfucker. Sorry. You're all asleep.
Whoa.
You stupid fools. Sorry to cuss. I'm sorry.
Anyway, here's what I want. I want Assassination of Jesse James to ascend to the pantheon of top 10 greatest films of all time. And I want...
Well, if we keep talking about
I
it
think it will.
and keep
I
pushing
think it will.
I want that. And I want
the
people
gospel
then
message.
I
to
think
make...
people will notice.
Well, but
Thanks
and
a
again, part of our arsenal, and just say, hey, what's a great
Brad
movie?
Pitt will die.
What's a great
something,
movie?
Something's going to happen in history. You can't ignore this film. It's super good.
Yeah.
There's just no way. There's no way it's going to be forgotten. I just can't believe it. Casey Affleck's gave as good as he got. He's, Manchester by the Sea was very good. He's better in Jesse James. Everything about every character, every actor has never been better.
Well, it was such a bravura performance, and not in the showy way.
No.
He wasn't afraid. He wasn't afraid to be that, the kid that just can't read the room.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And you cringe, but you can't turn away from him either.
Yeah.
Well,
and I mean, like when they're teasing him, you feel bad. It's like, hey, if you were in the room, like, come on, leave Bob alone. When they're getting it, or I might have been the one. Like, did I tell you about when Bob wet the bed?
you would.
I hope not. I would have probably. I hate to say it, but in college, at some point in my wayward youth, but. Like when they're going through his personal effects,
That's a great scene.
His favorite.
That's a great
Oh my
scene.
God! Just
giggling away.
And his tears, his childish, angry, hot tears are just amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think, okay, I want Jesse James to be counted as like one of the best films of all time, and I do want people to make more films like Train Dreams.
I'm right with you, sister.
Yes.
That's
agreed.
I want.
Agreed.
But I think Jesse James, again, just to sum up, Jesse James, I think will stand the test of time. It's too good,
Okay.
Well, it's been almost 20 years.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
does it show its whiskers?
Okay,
No.
but how long was it before people started? It was not until the 70s that It's a Wonderful Life took off. So
I don't know. And you might be right. So it's one of those things. Let's hope. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And let's keep preaching the gospel
Sure.
of good movies.
Yeah.
And this is an example of a great movie, not a good movie, a great movie.
Yeah. All right, now you two chumps need to see the drama, and then we can talk on that one because it's a big topic.
You're gonna buy our tickets?
Sure, it's on me, and drinks on me at the Moulin Rouge.
And crab dinner at the Fisherman's Wharf.
I'm having crab at Fisherman's Wharf.
Speaking of great drama.
Meanwhile, that playwright's gonna sue me.
I don't think he's alive. Unless he's one of your 12
know how to
listeners.
murder a word. Anyway. All right, it's time to go. Thank you for a sterling podcast.
This was a good one.
Sterling.
No.
All right. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Fabulous Film and Friends. Copyright 2026, a Bel Air Films production.